So today we are going to see about the mechanism of urine concentration and urine dilution. So all of you know in certain circumstances we used to pass concentrated urine and sometime we used to pass diluted urine large volume. So here today we are going to answer two questions. One is why we used to pass sometime in some circumstances a concentrated urine, less volume, and in some circumstances why used to pass diluted urine, large volume. And again we have to answer another question, that is how kidney can do so. So today we have to answer two questions. One is why we used to pass sometime diluted urine and why used to pass sometime concentrated urine. And question number two, why we why how kidney can do so. So today first we should know about giving answer of these two questions. So first we should know what is the osmolarity. So the osmolarity of our body fluids is 290 milliosmolar per. So what is our osmolarity of our body fluid? It is 290 milliosmolar per liter. So here first we will take as 300 a round figure, 300 milliosmol per liter for your understanding. So but at 290 osmolarity our body cells and tissues functions well, right? So if the osmolarity of body increases, then it is threatened to our body or the kidney, to that it has to maintain the osmolarity of our body fluids in the range of 290 milliosmoles per liter, right? So for example, suppose this is one person and that is another person. So this person is taking too much water, right? And this person has lost into desert for 12 hours and he is not having any source of water to drink. So here this person is taking a lot of water, and it means due to increase in water concentration into the body, so his body fluid get hypoosmolar. What? Increase in H2O. So fluid, body fluid gets hypoosmolar. Then if you drink too much water, then automatically your body fluid become hypoosmolar. Now, how could we work on this to maintain the body fluid? So one of the function of the kidney is to keep our body fluid around 290 milliosmol. So how kidney should manage this threatening situation to our body fluids? Suppose, for example, a normal person with normal diet, normal height, and normal metabolism, normal weight. So a person can produce near about 300, 600, 600 milliosmol. So how much waste product is produced by a normal diet, which is having a normal weight, normal diet, and normal physiological function of kidney. So a body can, a person can produce near about 600 milliosmoles of waste products, and it has to excrete from his body through urine. Right? Are you getting? Are you with me? So here a person has to excrete these waste products per day, that is 600 milliosmoles per day. So how he is achieving this goal? So kidney has to function for excreting all these waste products. So you know what is waste products? Urea, potassium, creatine, and some other cellular metabolism. It has to excrete into this waste product. So you know that whatever the waste products, that is the solvents. So we have to excrete it through some fluid or some solvent. So we cannot excrete this waste product. Our body cannot excrete this waste product in the means of tablet or powder form. So this solutes has to dissolve into some solvent. So here our body used to first dissolve this into some solvent that is known as the urine. So here this person is taking too much water, and due to that his body fluid is getting hyposmolar, and this another person was lost into desert for 12 hours, and he is not getting the water. Right? He is not getting the water. So his body fluid is then no water, diffused in water, and his body fluid get hyper osmolar. What? Hyper osmolar. So here, for example, he is losing some water by the means of respiration, some evaporation, and some in the fecal matter, and some in the CO2. So his body is getting deprived of water, and his body fluid is getting hyperosmolar. But the physics of these two guys or two persons are same height, same weight, same diet, but he is lost into the desert for 12 hours and he is taking too much water, right? So because we are paying him 500 rupees per glass, so that's why he is taking more water, drinking water, right? So because he's taking of too much water, he is getting his body fluid hyposmolar, and it is threatening the kidney to maintain his body's fluid osmolarity. But this guy, he is not getting water, and he is losing his water by the means of sweating, by the means of respiration, by the means of sweating, or some he lose some water into the fecal matter, right? So his body is getting hyper smaller. Again, this hyperosmolality is threatening his kidney function, right? But due to same physiological their physics, right? So they are producing same amount of waste product, that is 600 milliosmolar. So his body has to excrete all this 600 milliosmol per day, and he has to also excrete this 600 milliosmol per day. So what his kidney will do? So his kidney will dilute to concentrated, and he will excrete a very small amount of urine, and this fellow will excrete a large volume. So here the large volume diluted urine, and this fellow will small or less concentrated urine. So the picture is clear to you. So here this guy is getting his body fluid hyperosmolar, and this guy is getting body fluid hyperosmolar. Right? So due to this, he will excrete this 600 into a very small quantity of urine or the water, and he will excrete this waste products through in a very small amount of water or the urine. This guy is having too much water, whatever the 600, he will dilute in this, and he will excrete a large volume of urine. So up to now, this picture is clear to you. Still now, we have answered one question: how to make body fluid. So up to now, there is influence. If there is all their influence, if physiological system is working well, if ADH is working well, if kidney is working well, all these circumstances try to dilute body fluid immediately and produce diluted urine, so that excess water should go out. Normally, when blood is getting hypoosmolar, then urine should get hypoosmolar. Here what? When body fluid is getting hypoosmolar, then urine should get hypoosmolar. In the other condition, it is opposite, so that when every physiological or the pathological conditions, these are threatening the body fluid osmolarity to make body fluid hyperosmolar. If ADH system and the renal function is well, then kidney will again regulate the body osmolarity by conserving the water, and kidney will lose metabolic waste in the smaller amount of water, and person was concentrated urine or hyperosmolar urine. So up to this, now we have answered one question, that is why we used to sometimes pass concentrated urine and why we used to pass sometimes diluted urine. So this could not disturb the osmolarity of blood. So now, sometime they may ask in MCQ, the patient blood osmolarity is going up, urine osmolarity should go up, right? So again, MCQ, they may ask in sometime MCQs or multiple choice question, that is, patient's blood osmolarity is going up, urine osmolarity should go up. So blood osmolarity is decreasing, so urine osmolarity should decrease, right? So they may ask in MCQ. Now we will go to the we will go to answer the next question. So mechanism of urine concentration and dilution. So here mechanism of concentration and dilution. So kidney requires two things. One is the medullary interstitium should be hyperosmolar. Here I will write medullary interstitium should be hyperosmolar, right? So renal medullary interstitial fluid should be hyperosmolar. So now here we will try to understand first the positions of nephrons into the kidney. So because you know nature has made a very good arrangement for the good functioning of the different body organs, right? So if you see the structure of the nephron, so it is somewhere bent, somewhere thick, and somewhere ascending and somewhere descending. So here, if you see the structure, it is in somewhere it is bent. So nephron here, this is nephron. So here Indian loop of Henle, right? So here again stick again. Okay, right. If the nephron, we will make the nephron straight, what will happen? The question is that nature has made a very good arrangement for the maintaining the body fluids and the well functioning of the kidney. So here, if we make this nephron straight, what will happen? Let's. So first, we should know about the position of the nephron into the kidney. So I will here draw here kidney. Right. So, right. So this one. This is outer cortex. This another one, medullary cortex. This is inner medullary cortex. right? And here the last one is the papilla. Okay. So I will place here one nephron, and you will see that what will happen. So here is the filtration. Right? Thin loop of Henle. Okay. So then it will from the papilla. So it will go upward, thick part, then again it bends. Capillary. Somewhat here. We draw it from. Okay. So here nephron, outer medullary cortex, proximal tubules, descending loop of Henle, ascending loop of Henle, and cortical collecting tubules, and the outer medullary collecting tubules, inner medullary collecting tubules, and the papilla. So outer renal cortex, inner medullary cortex, then last one is the. So here the here is the Bowman's capsule, right? Proximal tubules, then thin ascending thin loop of Henle, then descending thin loop of Henle, then thick part of the loop of Henle descending, and this is distal convoluted tubules, then medullary collecting tubules, and this papillary collecting tubules. So here as you move from cortex to the medulla, there is a progressive increase in osmolarity of the interstitial fluid. If you see, when they come downwards from the proximal tubules to the thin loop of Henle ascending, there is a gradual increase in the osmolarity of this urine, right? Or the interstitial fluid. So if here at the top it is suppose 300, here 600, here 800, here 1000, here 12,000. Right. So when they are coming down from the proximal tubules, right, to papillary portion, right, you will see there is a gradual increase in the osmolarity of the body fluid, right? But how this there is increase in body fluid osmolarity? So we will see in the nephron. So here I will draw one nephron. So here right? So here our this fluid, sorry, this filtrate system. So now, for example, in the outer medullary cortex, so here this part is into outer medullary cortex. So here the suppose the osmolarity is 300. Here also when we get filter, here we found that osmolarity is also 300. So, but there are some cells which are present in the area of the proximal tubules, in the lumen of the proximal tubules. Right. So here when fluid comes here, it will reabsorb sodium 65%, 65% potassium, 65% chloride, water 65 to 75%, right? H2O and some other these ions or the some solutes, right? Now here the question is that, so if the osmolarity of body fluid is the filtrate fluid is 300 at the neck of the proximal tubule, then the fluid is coming down. So here the cells in the proximal tubule, it reabsorb most of the solvent. Then what is the osmolarity when fluid reaches up to the end of proximal tubule? So here the fluid will also, the osmolarity also change. So you are thinking that because the solutes are reabsorbed, then it will decrease the osmolarity when the fluid is coming down. But it doesn't happen like that, because these solutes and solvents, they are secreted into same proportion. They are secreted into same proportion. That is, if 65% is sodium is reabsorbed, then 65% bicarbonate or the water is also reabsorbed. Means whatever the fluid is coming down, so solutes and solvents, they are reabsorbed in the equal or the same proportion or the same concentration. So that's why whatever the fluid is coming here, it doesn't change its osmolarity, right? So here the of the body fluid is the same, but you move again forward. So this fluid will move forward. Now here is the real change into fluid. So here this part of it is water permeable. This is water permeable. So in the interstitium, it finds that there are some where about the osmolarity of the interstitium is, suppose here it is 400. The osmolarity of the interstitial fluid is 400, then what will happen? So when this fluid is coming down, right, so it starts, this is water permeable. What it is having the water, so it will lose the water. It will lose the water into the interstitial. When this 300, it is losing water and all the solutes are coming down. So here the osmolarity of this fluid, it increases, right? So when you see this part or the cell of this part, it is having the maximum capacity of developing the concentration gradient compared to the interstitial fluid is near about 200. When these cells are working very maximum to its extended capacity, then only it can generate a concentration gradient difference of only 200. I will show you how it is so. Suppose here the one, then here it is 400. The difference of 200, it can only maintain the osmolarity near about 200 comparing to 400. Suppose here it is 600, difference here is 400. Here it is 800, then here it becomes 600. The difference is of 200. There is no other difference more than this 200. Are you with me? Are you understanding? So these cells, when they are working with their highest capacity, they can generate only the difference of 200 concentration gradient of 200 comparing with the interstitial osmolarity of interstitial fluid. Right. Now we will see, suppose here it is 400, it is losing water, right? So then it becomes, it get concentrated and here it becomes 400, right? So this 400, 400, 400, 400, 400, right? But from this part to this part, it is impermeable to water. From this part to this part, it is impermeable to water. Again, there is some cells here, they are present. So here some enzymes, right? So this proteins, there is some cells, it is having the proteins, they are nothing but they are the sodium potassium channels. So here this get very happy, right? Why? Because this 400 is coming here and he is getting the more concentrated fluid. Then it contains sodium ions. So from this sodium move inside and sodium is moved into the interstitium. Sodium will move into the interstitium. So large quantity of sodium ions in light of the potassium ions. So here the potassium is moved into the cell, and because it is impermeable to water, so from this also see So here the sodium will be thrown outside. Okay. So potassium will also throw outside. And sodium, potassium will throw outside and it increase the concentration of sodium ion. So here when this is 400, so the if fluid moves upward, then what will be the osmolarity? So here it decreases the osmolarity and suppose it becomes 200. Right? So here, but this generation of gradient, there is, suppose here it is increasing. So whatever the concentrated fluid is coming here, again it found some sodium channels, potassium channels, and it will throw out the sodium, and water will move before sodium, and it will again throw into the interstitium. So here the osmolarity of this filtrate fluid will decrease, and when it reaches to the distal convoluted tubule, the osmolarity it becomes near about, suppose for example it is 200, right? So 200 it has to maintain the osmolarity of body fluid. So this is generation of osmolarity, and how this osmolarity is maintained by the kidney, we will see. So here it is 200, but another thing, so we have to excrete the waste product along with this sodium, potassium, chloride or the water. So how we used to throw out these waste products like urea? Because so here urea cannot be reabsorbed in this region from this part to this part, this, or you can say up to this, impermeable to urea. So from this part it is impermeable to urea. To urea. So here urea is very unhappy, and so he is not finding any way to be reabsorbed. So he is very unhappy urea. Right? So here is urea. He is very unhappy. Okay. So it will come here, and the concentration of urea is increased. The concentration of urea is increased, right? But again, urea get happy. Suddenly, urea get happy because there is one antidiuretic hormone, that is ADH. If it comes into the circulation and it founds some cell receptors here, right? So when there is binding in the presence of ADH, so this urea is again reabsorbed. Urea reabsorbed. Urea will get reabsorbed and urea get happy. So here urea is happy, and it is, so urea can enter from this side, and from this side. So this is called as the urea recycling. The question will be asked, how urea can be reabsorbed, in which part of the nephron urea is reabsorbed, and what are the factors which are affected for the urea reabsorption. So what is the when ADH comes and it founds a receptor on the last part of the nephron. So here this ADH it comes and it stimulates the cells to recycle or to absorb the urea and water. So here this urea is also reabsorbed and water can move into the interstitium by the means of osmosis. Right? And person can is having a minimum concentration. What is the adequate water intake and whatever the what he can excrete the fluid, whatever the solvent into the urine. So today we will conclude our lecture, and in the next lecture we will study about the pathology of the urine formation and dilution.